All right, good afternoon, everyone. Today is September 21st, 2020. This is a special meeting of the members of the State Liquor Authority being held in Albany and also remotely. In attendance in Albany is Chairman Bradley, who can be seen on the video. Also by video, Commissioners Ford and Commissioners Fan. We have General Counsel Meyerhoff participating by video. We have Deputy Commissioner of Licensing Roberts, who is on the phone with us. And myself, Secretary Donahue. Sorry, Adam. And Secretary Donahue in the Albany offices. We have two items on today's calendar. They are both requests from Counsel's Office for summary orders of suspension. The first item is agenda number 1253FF. It's King's OP 1243622. The licensee is The Hills Restaurant and Bar, Inc.
Good afternoon, Chairman Bradley, Commissioner Fan, Commissioner Ford, William Brennan for Counsel's Office. I'm here today to request that the board summarily suspend the licensee for frequently violating EOs 202.16, 202.38, 202.43, and failing to adequately supervise the licensed premises. The Hills Restaurant and Bar, Inc. has been licensed since August of 2010. The premises is located at 4706 Church Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. On September 19, 2020, Investigator Stravali of the EO Task Force conducted an inspection of the licensed premises. As he approached the premises, Stravali observed at least 6 patrons congregated in front of the premises, not socially distancing, in violation of EO 202.43. Stravali observed a security guard as well as the establishment's owner, Doris Rodney, present at the premises without wearing appropriate face coverings in violation of EO 202.16. Upon entering the rear yard, Investigator Stravali observed 106 patrons sitting and standing under 2 large white tents, one of which was closed on 3 sides. Stravali observed that patrons were not spaced 6 feet apart in all directions. Clusters of patrons were seated together in groups of more than 10, and numerous patrons were standing without facial coverings, all in violation of EO 202.38. There was an active New York City Department of Buildings vacate order posted on the front door prohibiting the use of the rear yard. The premises was in a default status for the previous violation for using the rear yard with 110 patrons in it on December 19, 2020. Additionally, the establishment's New York City Department of Health food permit was expired as of June 30th, 2020. The licensee will be charged with violations of EO 202.16, 202.38, 202.43, and failure to supervise the licensed premises. It's clear from the investigator's report and the pictures the investigator supplied that the licensee has blatantly violated EOs 202.16, 202.38, 202.43, as well as failing to comply with numerous local New York City rules and regulations and failing to adequately supervise the licensed premises. The manner in which the licensee is operating its business presents an immediate threat to the safety, health, and welfare of its patrons, employees, the community, and the general public. For these reasons, Counsel's Office respectfully requests that the board suspend this licensee. I would also like to note that this licensee has extensive disciplinary history. Most recently, on February 3rd of 2020, paid a fine of $40,000 in satisfaction of 6 distinctly separate NOPs for various numerous violations.
All right, with that, Commissioner Fan, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any more questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Ford, do you have any questions?
Counselor, was there some kind of special event going on there in this tent? I mean, it looked like from the way people were dressed, they were there for a reason.
Well, I did speak with Investigator Stravali, but he did not make me aware of any special event, no.
Okay, all right.
I would point out that the extensive history I was talking about included several violations for overcrowding the rear yard.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Ford, I think it might have been the usual August or September white party, I suppose.
Yeah.
Happens around this time, I think.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Yeah.
Right in that picture.
Right, Chairman Bradley, do you have any questions?
Yeah, Bill, is that backyard part of the licensed premise normally?
Yes, Chairman. When I got into workflow, it was on the license. It was listed on the license. I spoke with one of one of Adam's assistant secretaries. We couldn't pull up the actual diagram, but she indicated to me that the original examiner's checklist scanned in on 8/26/10 had the fence backyard listed.
All right, and obviously this is enclosed now and it's indoor dining, so, okay, thank you.
All right, with that, I'll call for the vote of the members. First, Commissioner Fan.
This licensee has a long history with us, so really should know better than to violate the governor's executive orders surrounding COVID prevention. And I will vote to summarily suspend this license due to imminent threat to public health, safety, and welfare that is presented at this licensed premise.
All right, Commissioner Ford, your vote, please.
Based on evidence presented by counsel, I vote summarily suspend as well.
And Chairman Bradley.
Based on the presentation by council as well as the pictures presented as evidence, it's clear this licensee is not following the executive orders, and as a result has become a risk to the public health, safety, and welfare, so I vote to summarily suspend.
All right, with that, the next item is 1253GG. It's King's OP 1280855. The licensee is Brooklyn Jazz and Sports Club, LLC.
Good afternoon, members. This is Kayla O'Donnell on behalf of Council's Office. Council's Office is seeking an emergency summary order suspension for a licensee who has shown a clear disregard for the governor's COVID-19 executive orders by violating 5 of them in just one night. On September 19th, SLA investigator Stervali visited the licensed premises. He wrote a report and took several photos, which are in the record before you. Upon arrival at the licensed premises, he observed 6 people standing in front, with 5 of them not wearing face coverings. As the photos in the record depict, there are 4 individuals standing next to a table where one person is sitting, and there are several beverages on that table. 2 of the patrons who are standing next to that table are not wearing face coverings, and 2 of them turned away from the camera. Upon entering the premises, investigator Stervali observed at least 20 patrons inside and a live DJ. Some of the patrons left through the back door when the task force arrived, so there were actually more than 20 people inside. As the photos depict, there are empty beer bottles and cups on a couple of the tables. In one of the photos, there's a man and woman sitting at a table with a bucket and a beer bottle on the table. There's also a photo of a man sitting at a bar next to a bottle of beer and a glass with an amber-colored liquid in it, and another photo of an individual sitting at the bar with a beer in front of him. The kitchen was closed, and there were no food receipts available. There was not food on any of the tables photographed, despite there being numerous alcoholic beverages on the table and in the bar in the photos. Additionally, neither the bartender or even the owner were properly wearing face coverings. In addition to being charged with violating Executive Orders 202.3, 202.16, 202.38, 202.43, and 202.52, the licensee is also being charged with failure to supervise the premises, failure to comply with local regulations for not displaying a certificate of occupancy, and for an expired food service permit, unmounted and uninspected fire extinguishers, and disorderly premises as the music was so loud it could be heard across the street. Since the licensee has shown an inability to comply with even a single one of the executive orders, and is even serving patrons inside the establishment, which has been prohibited since March, and since these executive orders were put in place to prevent further transmission of COVID-19, which is a deadly virus that devastated New York City, to allow the licensee to operate while the charges are being litigated would endanger the health, welfare, and safety of patrons and employees, as well as their families and the community as a whole. In consideration of that, immediate action in the form of an emergency order of summary suspension is required. Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Fan, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions, Tom.
Commissioner Ford, do you have any questions?
Yes, Kayla, did you say when they were licensed?
They've been licensed since May 26, 2015.
And any other adverse history?
No,
Okay. As the DJ allowed on their license?
so their license specifically states recorded music,
Okay.
but their original method of operation is not. I couldn't find a record of it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Chairman Bradley, any questions?
I have no questions.
All right, with that, I'll call for the vote of the full board. First, Commissioner Fan.
Given the evidence presented by Council O'Connell and the pictures that was presented and the evidence, I find that this location an imminent threat to public health, safety, and welfare, and I vote to summarily suspend it.
Commissioner Ford.
Based on the evidence presented, I have to vote to summarily suspend as well.
And Chairman Bradley.
Based on the evidence presented, it's clear that this licensee has become a risk to the public health, safety, and welfare for failing to abide by the governor's executive orders, and therefore I'm voting to summarily suspend.
All right, with that, I have nothing else. Chairman, do you have anything else?
Nope, thank you all.
All right, with that, this meeting is concluded. Thank you.
Thank you.